Hello and welcome to Lords and Ladies of Fate. You have once again found yourselves in the self-proclaimed only Twitch TTRPG stream that allows you, the viewer, to significantly impact the stories being told on your screens. In order to do so, you spend Fate Chips. These are loyalty points that you earn just by watching, following, hosting, subscribing, and even for engaging with us in chat. Use those Fate Chips to heal your favorite players, summon in a custom item, make your players say silly things. You can even force the players into random encounters, or make them sing. I like that one. Tonight, we are playing Conan, Adventures in an Age Undreamed by Modifius Entertainment. I will be your game master tonight, playing Crom, who cares not for the will of the fates. I'm Chance. We have a diet crew tonight, a couple of absences. But with us, we have Abertach, the Witch Finder. We have Sang,
Yes, I see.
the Emissary. We have Ember, the Lap Cat. And Thornicius, the Bosonian Archer. We find ourselves about a mile outside the haunted ruins of Fort Tusculon. Every mile for the last 6 miles, making this the 7th, the party has found bodies split into 7 pieces. They've been attacked multiple times by strangely coordinated and aggressive animals of various types, even a dragon dinosaur thing of doom that was very scary. The wind has started. Sorry?
I had it. I had the dragon dinosaur thing.
The wind has picked up, the storm has brewed, the rain has begun, thanks to certain token purchases from members of the chat over the last couple of sessions. This storm has continued to gain fury and might, going from a nice, sunshiny, warm day to a thunderstorm of epic proportions with threats of tornadoes should the DGM, should Crom spend his doom. We're about a mile outside of the fort. 2 members of the party, the thief and the warrior queen, have recommended that the party splits up to find out where the civilians are. Are they being held in the fort, or are they being held somewhere nearby the fort? What are the threats? The thief says he can take the warrior queen one way if the ranger's willing to take the rest the other.
And with a
The
thumbs
ranger
up,
agrees.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I've got a slightly different screen. But great. So, for the 3 of you guys, how would you like to proceed?
as stealthily as possible.
With as many animals have been going on. Oh, and did I mention the war drums that are beating, and the hoots and the war calls and the hoots and the howls and
I have
other implements of scary?
I have a
So
feeling
how
the
far
war
off are we
drums.
starting?
Say that again?
How far off from the fort are we starting?
Right about a mile away from the fort, but it's not a straight shot, so there's some twists and turns in the road, so it's not technically within sight. Now, if the fort was still standing, you could probably see some of the tops of the fort walls and torches and lights and things, but now all you can see is storm.
I say we sneak towards the drums and see what we find.
Drums are happening in and around the fort. That's the direction they're coming
So
from.
that's what we should head for. Is there any high ground that we can take advantage of?
Not a lot. There's not really like cliff faces and things like that on this side. It's pretty deep forest for the most part. There's maybe a bit of marsh, but for the most part, it's pretty deep forest.
Okay, I'm gonna suggest that we go off of the path and try to sneak forward through the forest, using the woods as cover until we cannot use it anymore. Get as close as possible.
On the plus
any better
side,
ideas,
all of
so-
this,
Remember, they are really good in the forest.
all of this storm and wind and rain does make it easier to sneak around. I mean, this is some rough weather. You're going to have penalties to your observation checks oftentimes, but probably a bonus to your stealth checks.
Okay, cool.
I imagine the storm isn't so bad inside of the forest with all the tree cover and leaves to shield us.
It's even worse.
It's worse. It's not like a jungle canopy. It's not jungle forest here, so it's a lot of coniferous, a lot of deciduous. So where the rain is coming down, starting to come down relatively hard. The wind is whipping up debris and dirt and sticks and leaves and branches. Like, just moving through the forest right now is going to leave you with scrapes and abrasions.
And I'm missing some armor.
It miraculously, heroically saved you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Heroically saved you. What we can do is called an assisted check. So one person is the point, and then everyone else that's assisting can roll a single die 20. If you succeed, you increase the level of success of the primary by 1 dice. So I figure we can do that. We can have the ranger roll stealth, and then the two of you can roll your stealth checks to see if you can assist.
I'll
Try not to get a 20. Try not to get complication.
I shall refrain just on the far more likely chance of getting a complication than actually being able to assist.
Okay. Abertech?
I mean, I'm going to try.
All right.
There is this cat in my lap, so.
Well, good thing you have a minion who can roll the dice for you.
No, he can't type. I got 1 success.
Only roll 1 dice.
Roll 1 die.
Oh, then I only rolled the first one then.
I'll allow it that the first one, that the first die was
I'll
it.
fix it. No success, but not a penalty. Not a
Not a complication.
close to one.
You sure you don't want to
Yes,
try,
thank you.
Sing? You sure you don't want to try to assist?
Okay, fine. Roll it. I'm going.
Give me a 20. I mean, give me. There we go.
I did
Still
not
not a
succeed.
success.
Still not a. Oh yeah, your stealth is a 7. Okay. So how many successes did you get then, Thornicius?
So Nicius has 2.
2 successes. Well, good thing there's a storm blowing. Reduces the difficulty a little bit. Makes it easier to stay stealthy. As you sneak towards the woods, the very fact that you can hear these drums and these people howling over the sound of this oncoming freight train of a storm is impressive and shows how aggressive these drums are being pounded and how aggressive of war chants are being hollered. But it does make it really easy to know which direction to go
Yes.
as you tuck into the forest. Before long, all 3 of you are soaked, just wet as can be from top to bottom. Your gear is wet, your clothing is wet. You're going to have to dry out in front of a fire for hours to get away from all of this water that's dousing you right now, as the rain has picked up so much that the ground is already turning into a slurry of mud and debris.
I turn to my fellows and say, stay close to the tree roots. It's better that way.
Abertech, I would tell you to do a sorcery check, but you know this isn't natural.
Yeah, no, I'm, yeah.
Abertech wouldn't have any way of, mitigating this, would he?
No, he is not a sorcerer himself. He is he only knows about it to fight it.
I see.
He's like that one Hugh Jackman movie where Van Helsing.
Yeah. A lot of good you are. I mean, I see the storm. I know it's there.
Yeah, especially without some armor here. This is gonna be tough. But we will follow you.
So I do need a observation check, though. As you get to relatively close to the fort, the trees change, the ground changes.
Now,
I
is this
have
2d20 or
a success. One success.
One success to Thornicius. What did you guys
1d20?
get?
Is it 1 or 2d20 now?
2d20. It's a regular observation check again.
Ooh, nice.
Woohoo! No.
That was a
Wow.
critical success for both of us, I think. Yeah.
Open-eyed
Both
son of a
us got
gun, you.
3 successes.
So you both got 3 successes, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, in that case, let me just go ahead and bump this up to 2 points.
They're saying it sounds like we're in a fishbowl.
So, wait, really? It's not sounding like that. Oh, wow, that chat went really quick. I looked away for a second. All right. How are you? How about to have my own sessions? What are you playing? Oh, Brother Zeus. We are playing.
You have the right microphone on.
Oh, we're asking what you're playing. Okay.
This might be a
No,
little
they-
bit better. We had the wrong microphone on. And by we, I mean
Mm.
him.
Sure. It's always my fault.
Not
just
always,
blame
just
Crom. He cares
99.92%
not.
of the time.
So, you two that got your multiple successes. The slurry in the ground. You know there's no clay here. You know there's no iron here. But the mud is having a tinge of red. The trees, they quickly stop, leading to a clearing around where the ruins of the fort. You can barely start to see some of the ruins of the fort. But you know that it was 10 years ago, and some growth should have began to come back. And there is a line, like forest, and then a line of death. Nothing growing, not even grass, not weeds, for 150 yards around the edges of this fort in all sides. And because you got those multiple successes, as you're glancing around, the tree trunks closest to the fort, but only on the side facing the fort, look almost as if there are veins of blood dripping from them. Almost. There's red streaks that seem to be part of the tree, but are suspiciously similar in color and appearance.
Mind if we roll a sorcery check?
Sure.
I can tell you that's unnatural.
Unnatural, yes, but in what way? Like, is it an active malignant effect?
Yes.
Or
What else do you need to know?
I think what he's trying to say is this new or is
I
this
got a
old?
complication.
Ooh.
So clearly
Oh.
it's good magic, and it's here to save us.
Jack
So-
crosses his eyes and says,
Saying
"See
is
it."
saying is that 2 successes for you?
I got 2 successes. He
All right.
got no successes in a complication.
So saying, you know, this is not fresh. This isn't something that has just happened in the last day or week. This is years, at least a decade of evil.
It's a creeping rot of evil.
The ground that's being destroyed is blasted. This isn't just recently reaped. This is dead, devoid of life.
Yep.
We are going
This is not from the
purify
Picts.
this with fire
In the middle
Abertac.
of a storm.
after.
After.
Abertac. You know how sometimes you got to know what it is? Like, is that blood? And then you like stick your finger in it and you decide to taste it?
Oh,
I will
Ew.
smack his hand the moment he tries.
It could be apples.
You were too busy paying attention. Abratak, those tree veins, that's tree blood, a sappy, syrupy, sticky tree blood.
Discovered maple syrup.
Maple something. It's definitely not a sweet.
Maple sewage.
But now your hands are sticky with sap blood.
Maybe you should cut these trees down and we're done.
And light it all on fire.
And then pour concrete over it.
But it's only half of the tree trunks on the tree trunks that are facing the haunted ruins of the fort.
Mm-hmm.
Could I possibly use my alchemy to attempt to unstick his hands?
Or use
I
it
mean,
as-
it's raining. I mean, he can rub it off. It's wet enough and it's raining enough that he can. But right now his hands are sticky. So
maybe you have a use for it in a poison type thing.
Ugh.
Could it
I
possibly
would
be
not
used?
use this in anything.
Hey, you never know. Alchemy is weird like that.
because all of the ingredients that you source are organically provided, huh?
From organically sourced skeletons.
I mean, yeah.
So, even though right now there should be enough light for you to see the ruins of the fort, it's hazy. There's smoke, what's being left from the fire, but there's also a mist, a kind of a whitish mist hanging low and deep around the forest, or around the fort. It's not thick, it's not a fog, but there's definitely a mist there, even through the storm, that's not being blown with the wind.
Unnatural evil.
The
Maybe
fort
the
itself
weather's
is
so
maybe
bad, they'll call it all off.
the fort itself is maybe it's relatively squarish with what would have been, you assume, towers on each of the four corners, maybe a half mile across and a half mile across. It could have housed easily 600 or 700 troops or more.
But now the walls are gone and we can see clear to the middle of this.
Now the walls are gone, and along with everything living between here and there, and you can see clearly through the rain blowing sideways and the mist that's surrounding the fort
Oh,
itself.
okay.
But you hear drums and hoots.
This seems like a trap. Does anybody have an idea as to how to make it across this no man's land without being...
Observation check, please. Difficulty 2.
I'm going to spend a fortune
All of us?
point.
Everybody. Yep.
Actually, I'm going to spend a momentum, actually.
Okay. Party has 2 momentum. You spend 1.
That gives me a +1, right?
Roll 3 dice 6 instead of 2 dice 6. You get a bonus dice.
2d20, right?
Yes. Sorry, die 20. 3 die 20. My bad.
Wow. We are full of crits on observation.
Wow. Okay.
Dude.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3 points of momentum generated there. Okay. You see on the far side of the fort. So the fort is also built up against a river. It's built up against the Black River, just like the city of Velitrium was built up against the Thunder River. The fort is built up against the Black River. The difference being this one isn't built as a port. There's not a portcullis or a gate going into the river. It was originally, and Bill, your character would know this, it was originally a large wall protecting the river as a fort, a lookout over the river to prevent unauthorized traffic like evil canoes and pirates. But you do spot, barely, in the distance, through the mist, through the rain, canoes coming across the river to the fort with what appear to be Picts and settlers.
Hmm.
You're not sure how many, but there's definitely more than one canoe, but you can't really quite get a full count.
How far from the shore are they?
They're crossing the river.
As in
The river
towards
itself. So the Black isn't quite as large as the Thunder River, but the Black River is more swiftly moving than the Thunder. So the Black is probably maybe at this point only maybe 100 feet across. So you notice them in the river somewhere near the middle-ish, rowing towards the
I have a
fort,
plan.
coming from the far side of the river.
I being from the same area, tend to look kind of like the Picts, right? But not exactly like a Pict.
Well, I mean, you dress in leathers and leggings and armors, and the Picts dress in loincloths and tattoos.
Right.
Why don't you fill the canoes with arrows?
Well, that was the idea. Either that or dress as one of them, because I did take their loincloths from the other town that they braided.
I don't think you
Dress
smell
like
like
one,
one.
see the prisoners as they come to the other side of the river. To this side of the river.
Do you speak Pictish?
Wonderful question. I don't think
You
I
can
do.
drum.
Do I drum?
I imagine he also lacks the necessary tattoos.
Tattoos, body paints, piercings, tribal headdresses, stone weapons.
Well, we did pick up some weapons, some Pictish weapons.
I mean, you'd have to take off everything. You'd have to put all of your weapons down. You'd have to put your bow down. You'd have to put all of your gear down. I mean,
Cornitius,
you want to look like a Pict. They're not running around with finely wrought Bostonian bows.
I can hold on to your armor for you, though.
If you could wear it.
or you could hold on to this Pictish loincloth and do it for me. If you speak Pict.
I propose we stay where we are and observe where they take the prisoners, that we may possibly rescue the ones that haven't been killed off yet.
Well, you're pretty sure they're taking the prisoners, at least this wave of them, into the fort as we speak. You don't know if this is the first or the last.
Have a wall or anything to block our view. I would imagine we could keep track of where we go.
That's what I've said a few times, though, is you can't see into the grounds of the fort because of the mist and the wind and the rain.
But we can see past it into the river, or where?
They're just south. They're south of it.
Okay.
You're not seeing. It's not that they're directly opposite you. You see them in the water crossing towards the fort.
Okay.
All right. You do your face stripping stuff.
It's kind of got a limited range, if you haven't noticed.
There doesn't seem to be a lot we can do right now in this weather.
I can attempt to shoot arrows, but in this kind of weather, it's doubtful that I'd be able to hit them.
What if we got closer?
I mean, I guess the chat could always buy you guys some good items or some support if you beg them really nicely.
Could I please have a laser sight for my bow?
We could try.
Oh, they do like you guys. Atlask has redeemed good weather.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you.
Atlask has redeemed good weather. It's still raining. It's still thundering. But the wind dies down for the most part.
Now I have a chance. So let's take that shot. I will go first for the guy on the back of the canoe.
So there's a couple of canoes. There's at least 2, maybe 3 canoes. It's a little ways away. As far as an archery goes, at this exact moment, it would be extreme range.
Okay, so
you get closer and
let's
do a
move
volley.
up the river closer to where they're coming across. I want to get a good shot. So move within medium range, I guess.
Okay. I made the weather bad on purpose, damn it! Outbid each other then. Oh, they are! The wind picks up again. Thank you, Raccoonistry.
I'd love a bidding war, but this sucks.
I love you guys.
This is definitely sorcery now.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100% there is some sorcery going on. Maybe even some good sorcery. Counter sorcery that's just being defeated
Dope.
handily by evil.
No, I can't do anything.
What are you trying to do?
Do you have a specific person? Anyone? All right, well, let's roll a 1d3. Roll a 1d3. 1d3. It came out with Thornicius. Hey, Bill,
All right.
you know what you got to do.
I know what I have to do. I draw back with an arrow. I say a small prayer and sing a song to the gods. Raindrops keep falling on my head. Twang! I just can't seem to make them go.
You're going to shoot all the Picts until they're dead.
Red! The water's full of red.
I like it. We found a new calling.
Roll me an attack roll.
Roll in that beautiful bean footage. Yes,
We do
two
have excess
successes.
momentum if you want to spend that to assist your hitting.
Well, this one I don't need it, but I might for the next one.
Yeah, because you're at difficulty 2 on your attacks now because of the extreme wind.
But I have an ability that reduces that range.
And that's not because of the range. It's because of the weather. Hazards.
Booger.
All ranged attacks and many acrobatics and other related type of attacks are the related maneuvers and skills are all going to be at a +1 difficulty. 1 dice difficulty. Except for sneaking. Sneaking is going to be easier. But you still have 2 successes. 2 successes is enough, so roll me damage.
That would be 76, if I remember correctly.
76 damage. That's a lot of damage.
Yes, it is.
What are you shooting broadswords from your bow?
Yes. And two effects. Not that they wear armor, but
Yeah, they're not wearing armor. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage. Well, you reach back, you sing your song, you make your prayer, you loose, and that arrow flies straight and true into a neck and through.
whispering more words of thanks.
Without even being able to gurgle a warning, one of the picks just falls off the boat and splashes. The rest are like,
This time, I do the same.
roll me another attack roll.
And I'm going to spend a momentum point this time to
Okay.
add another dice.
Roll 3 die 20.
Whew. I got both ends of the spectrum there.
It's still a success.
It's a critical success with a complication. Is it with a complication? No, it's not, is it?
It's not a 20.
Oh, okay, good. Awesome.
So a 19 is a complication if you have no training in a
Oh,
skill.
thank God. I do have plenty of training here.
Aha. Nothing compared to what you're going to
Which reminds me, I need to put my GM screen up. Oops, I forgot.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage again. As a second pict falls into the water and splashes. At this point, several of the picks just start firing their bows randomly and hollering and yelling.
So business as usual for them.
More or less. On the plus side, there's already a bunch of drums and hollering and yelling, so it's kind of getting overwhelmed by the remaining noise. On the other hand, if picks on one or the other of the shores are watching them, just saying.
Are there any picks on shore that I see?
I haven't spent any doom yet, so no.
Okay.
Not that you see.
Gonna do it again then. How many are
All right.
per canoe?
3 picks, 2 settlers per canoe. There's at least 3 canoes.
Gonna spend
No, actually, no. Scratch that. 5 canoes. 4 canoes. 4 canoes. One of the canoes only has one person. Only has one settler, I mean. But all 4 canoes have 3 picks in them.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to hit that lead canoe again.
Yep.
As far as you know, you don't know anything about it.
And I'm spending a momentum for an extra dice.
20.
Okay.
Usual.
Good night.
20.
They're hidden
Well-
and subtle. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
So roll me damage.
Moving out the supernatural.
It's not supernatural.
You didn't trigger it, meaning you.
Yes, I did.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage this time. A third picked falls over, very damn dead. Unfortunately, he falls over, taking a settler with him under the water.
Oh, damn it.
The next canoe, one of the picks stands up with a knife and grabs a pict to use as a body shield and puts the knife to the settler's throat.
So Stiller is a body shield.
Yeah.
Settler is a body shield, and a warning, any more arrows and he's probably going to die. That kind of seems like what he's saying right now, because he's not stabbing the settler. He's holding the settler in front of him with a knife to the throat.
Shoot the hostage.
I am going to spend a fortune point, and I'm going to take that guy out.
Fortune points are never wasted. You can always declare them after the attack.
Okay. But I'm going to spend
As a called shot,
you
it
can have
does
extra
take
momentum to
2
use it.
momentum. It takes 2 momentum to perform a called shot.
Yes. Okay.
I will allow a called shot for this, but it's going to be a difficulty 3.
Okay.
Small target with cover.
And my fortune will give me 2 already, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's try this. 3d20. Very good successes. All 3.
Okay.
So I have 5 successes.
Well,
Roll damage.
You might want it from a
Oh.
or the devil.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. You're getting pretty good at those 7 points of damage.
Yes, I am.
Between the eyes, pating. But I'm going to go ahead and spend a doom and give him 50-50 if he takes the settler with him. High, he does. Roll low, he does not.
I mean, either way, the settler doesn't get sacrificed to the outer dark. So
All right.
As pinned through the eyes, the settler is standing there shaking and shivering as the pict falls into the water.
All right.
The rest of the picks start jumping into the water to take cover behind the canoes. Some of them dragging the settlers with them, some of them not.
Anybody who grabs a settler gets shot.
Well, they're in the water now.
Well, how
They're
easy?
they're now jumping in to use the canoes as
If I
cover.
grab a settler.
I
doubt
doubt
it'd be
they're going to
very
be able to
easy
keep
to
control of a
Hold
canoe
on to a settler
and a
and
settler.
twin steer a canoe.
Depends on how
I don't mean they're
fruitful-
gently pulling a settler and caressing them into the water. I mean they're grabbing them by the neck and jumping into the water with their heads, grabbing them.
No, I'm just
They're not
I'm just
being
amazed
gentle.
at their ability to swim with the flailing settler.
That's what I was saying. Was once they're in the water.
On the far side of the canoes, using the canoes as cover.
I whisper over my shoulder to maybe Abertak and Zhang might want to go to the river and try and help any settlers that might wash downstream.
That portion of the river
I
has
give you
no
a-
cover from the.
golf clap for the shots.
That portion of the river has no cover from anything. It's part of that dead blasted zone.
Well, at the very least, we've robbed them of more power to their spell. Let's just keep
Maybe.
trying to figure out if we can take them out, or what do you suggest, guys? I twang. That's what I do.
I say keep twanging, and we'll be here if anything actually thinks to come up and attack you.
We got your back.
Yes, boost. This is the official Modifius Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of.
So if I see a hand on a canoe, I'm going to aim through the canoe with my arrows to pierce. If I pierce the canoe, then I'll hit the picked.
I'm gonna go with you would need 4 points of piercing to do that.
What are
Because
they
there's
doing
two
now?
layers of two different. It'd be 2 separate layers of wood.
Okay. Well, I have an ability to re-roll any dice that I want to, but I have to accept those rolls. So let's give it a try.
All right.
I'm going to spend another momentum for 3 dice for my attack.
Okay, it's going to be difficulty 3 because you can't actually see them. All you can see is some
A hand.
knuckles, some splashing.
So, oh my God! Why would you abandon me, Lord?
Well, see what had happened was there was this lightning strike and it hit the tree right beside you and it splintered all over you and the really loud noise made you partially deaf for the next few turns and the really bright light made you partially blind for the next few seconds.
Wonderful. I throw my hand over my eyes and I hold my bow up. Anybody else got a good shot?
Nope.
Just as a quick aside, what are the odds that a lightning strike that close
Didn't kill me
was coincidental?
or didn't kill me? Yeah.
I don't know. Abertak, has your sorceress senses gone off?
All over the place here. Oh, wait. I can tell that your armor is cursed. You'll have to take it off and give it to me.
As if it would fit. Here, you can borrow this helmet. This.
I have a helmet.
Oh, well.
I
Useless.
think that I was blown, gentlemen. I think we need to make haste with whatever plan we're going to do beyond this.
Another blast of lightning lands on it, hits a tree maybe 50 feet from you.
I grab my bow, use
Purely
it
coincidence.
as a blind man's stick, and I'm
Go this direction.
mumbling forward.
Forward into the trees
I don't know
or
if you noticed or
forward
not, but
into the
she's-
blasted zone?
Forward into the trees where cover is.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I heard if you stick closer to the roots, it's easier.
Forward to the rear.
Forward to the rear.
Mhm.
Advance.
Strategic retreat is what we call that.
No, it's a strategic repositioning of backwards.
Post haste.
You
Come
guys head south away from the farther away from the fort to the south, a little bit deeper into the forest for a ways, more than the 50 feet that last lightning bolt struck. There is one more blast of lightning that hits in the general vicinity of where you were.
Mm-hmm.
And then after another couple of minutes,
If you
no
track
more
it to your
lightning
metal
bolts
armor,
seem
give
to
it to me
be
and I'll take care of it.
striking that close.
All right. So
You can no longer see the fort or the blasted zone. You can sort of see through the trees at where the river is, but you don't have any sort of clear line of sight at this point.
I would say let's get to the river. Anything that washes down the river, canoe, settler, whatever, we could at least possibly salvage that. Maybe even use the canoe as a way of gaining entry.
Oh, I mean, here's a thought. Those canoes are coming from somewhere.
Yeah, across the
across
river.
the river. Right?
Those settlers are coming on those canoes.
Good point.
Tell them to go back.
Maybe they would if they didn't have picked knives to their throats. I'm sure of it. Let's go over there and find out where they're coming from. We can cross the river easily, right?
You have a
You
Uh,
said it
canoe?
wasn't very fast.
It is fast moving. It's just not as deep and large as the other river, but it is a fast moving river. So I believe swimming is an athletics check. Yeah, swimming is an athletics check.
Okay.
If you're just trying to swim across in this current with this rain, it's going to be a difficulty 2 athletics check to get across. Now, if you have a canoe or something, then it's a piloting check or a sailing check.
What if I'm just like floating on the back of a dead Pict? Is that sailing?
I'm probably gonna need a canoe to get across this river. Just
Oh, and you'll weigh less without that heavy armor.
no. No.
Keep angling. Sooner or later, keep angling. He'll give in.
I offered to support your need for new armor, but no, you turned me down.
Okay, let's go with an athletics check for me.
You're just going to swim across and leave them behind?
Well, no. If there's a boat, they can take it, I guess. Or
Because
is there a boat? Let's put it that way.
Sang just said, I'm not swimming across.
So how about an observation check to see if we can find a canoe?
I'll give you a difficulty 0 observation check. Yeah, there's 3 canoes that just docked upriver. You're pretty sure are there.
Okay, let's go there.
In the blasted zone at the ruined fort.
Well, we're just gonna have to.
Like, the fort originally was buttressed up against the river because it was there to protect the river in part. So when I say it's at the fort, I'm not saying it's 150 feet away on the other side of a blasted zone. I mean, it's at the ruins, at the walls of said fort where they beached it.
All right, run and grab us a canoe.
Yeah. Let's go grab a canoe then.
Okay. You just gonna sprint at it? I mean, you can.
Or I could chop a branch down and try and use it like a bush and hide behind it, but it's not going to work because the bush doesn't have feet. We could try. I could try swimming up the river, but that would be exhausting.
Stealth is the better part of valor in this particular scenario.
And neither of us are terribly still. Yes,
All
I
right,
got my
you
large
two
witch hunting
stay
hat.
here.
I'm talking about
You stay here.
the archer,
He's still.
You two stay here. Behind
which
cover.
is why
I'm
he's
going
going
across
to
the river.
fetch the
Yeah,
canoe.
Well,
that's
why would
fine.
you want to go fetch the canoe?
Yes.
You don't have any stuff.
Provide cover with the bows they don't have.
I thought they did have a bow of some sort, didn't you? At one point. No?
I mean, you can run across 150 feet of completely open, exposed, blasted zone where you know that the picks are active and already know that you're a threat because you were firing arrows at them recently. So they're on alert if you want to.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. No sane man would. I'd
There's
rather
no
swim-
cover between here and there.
Yeah, I'll slide down into the water and try and swim across.
I can
the
try to
the
swim
river.
with you, but that leaves him by himself.
Well, I haven't found a use for him yet, other than he yells at things.
That's true. I'll try.
And he throws smoke bombs.
I'll try to swim with him.
Yeah. So if the lightning bolts get close to us, throw a smoke bomb.
It's more a flashbang than anything.
You're gonna have to roll for me though.
All right. Well, that's fine. In a dark, rainy day, it might actually work better.
One
How about you throw one?
moment.
So you want swimming?
How about you throw a smoke bomb to cover our entry into the river?
So do you want to roll to swim?
Roll to swim.
Okay. So is it just you or who's all swimming?
In Abertac, we're going across the river.
Okay.
Um,
Are you
Zang's going
swimming
first with the
up
smoke
the
bomb.
river to find a canoe or across the river to the other side?
Across to the other side where the canoes were coming from, because that might also be where the settlers are being held.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy as you swim, or are you doing the breaststroke?
I have it.
Stealthy.
So I will need both a swimming check and a stealth check. Swimming check
All right.
difficulty 2, stealth check difficulty 1.
I got a success
So
and
that-
a complication.
A success and a complication.
And I got
so
A
did he.
success and a complication. And that's your swimming check, so I need a stealth check now.
I rolled 20.
Because I did say
Stealth
you
was
needed
good.
2 successes to swim across the river.
I got one success on stealth.
So neither of you are going to succeed swimming across the river. As
Blood
you
fortune.
you are very stealthily swimming, but that current is just so strong. It
Mm.
pulls you away and down river. I need another swimming check, difficulty 2, to try to regain
is
control.
Downriver.
I'm gonna burn a
South,
momentum.
south a word.
We do have momentum to
Is,
spend, right?
is
3 points.
downriver toward or away from the fort?
Away from
I'm
the
gonna
fort.
spend
You're
momentum.
south of the fort already, so downriver is farther away from the fort.
Ah, 3 successes.
Yeah, I got another complication.
No, I'm
I shall follow them along the shoreline.
Well, Abertac, you make it to the other side, or not Abertac. Thornitius, you tired, make it to the other side at probably a good quarter mile, third of a mile south of where you originally planned on crossing. You look back though, and your friend Abertac is, well, he's not exactly staying above water very well.
Focus on your.
I will.
He is bobbing and spluttering, being taken away by the current.
Is he within reach if I cut like a long branch, like a 20-foot branch or something? Or
Well, I mean, how long is it going to take to cut a branch and then get it down there when he was already being pulled away from the current, which is going quickly? I don't think so.
It's all right. I'll
Okay.
catch back up with you eventually.
If you don't drown.
Hey, I got one success.
if I don't,
I'm not drowning yet.
they're picked up.
Yet.
All right. Is there a tree that he is coming close to that I could maybe use an arrow to cut a branch down for him?
What kind of arrows do you carry?
The sharp kind.
So you're just going to put a stick in the water?
No, I think. he
Or a
wants to knock
branch, like break a branch off a
tree.
tree down into the water so he can grab it.
Like something that's large enough to float?
No, not something to float. Just something like a tree branch overhanging, and like it's got a tiny branch that might reach down almost to the river. So I like nick it on the inside so it falls down a little further.
I have this twig. Oh lordy! +2 twig of swimming.
So my rule is always to try to find a way to
Or a
say
fortune.
yes. So here's what I will say. Yes, but
Yes, but
you're going to have to use a point of fortune just to change the story to make that happen, because that is one of the things that you can do with fortune, is
Okay, I
make
will.
story-based declarations.
this is
So you can
second-
use it. If you use a point of fortune, I'll allow that to say that there is one.
What am I gonna do?
But this is a small target in the wind, in the rain. It's
In
going to
the
be a
dark.
difficulty 4 in the dark. It's going to be a difficulty 4 shot to succeed at what you want,
Hmm.
plus the point of fortune to make it happen. And he's still going to have to be able to grab it.
Perhaps
And
I
then
can,
when I have it, what am I gonna do with a twig?
perhaps
yourself
I
out
can
of the
run
water.
down the shoreline and hopefully find a vine
Yeah.
large enough to toss and use as a rope via spending a fortune point.
Or just let me
There we
try
go.
to swim again.
Yeah, how about that? Like I'd change the story to that. He finds a vine floating in the river.
So you're not going to be spending this fortune point and all the momentum to make that happen?
I will
Please
still
don't.
spend the fortune point to change the story to him having a vine close enough at hand.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll allow you burning a fortune point to change the story enough for there to be a bit of vine. I mean, nobody's paying for it, so fortune will work. I'm still going to need an athletics check from you, Avertac.
Do I have to?
What's the chance?
One
that you roll
difficulty.
20?
Burn a momentum.
I got 1 success and no
One
complications this time.
success. That is enough to grab onto this vine. It's not getting you out of the river, but you're no longer being dragged downriver anymore. You've gone at least a half a mile at this point from where you
Lovely.
originally had gone.
I blame witchcraft. I mean, I kind of always blame witchcraft.
Yeah.
The two of you make it down on opposite sides of the shore. You can see each other on opposite sides of the shore, and him clinging to a vine hanging down from a tree in the middle-ish.
This was a bad idea.
I agree.
Come back so that we can storm the fort. We don't have time for this.
I'll be back with a canoe. Maybe even some settlers. Let's go. Let's figure this out.
If you want to, yeah, it's still going to be 2 successes to get to the shore for you. But because of the vine, I won't make you be floating down the river as you're attempting to.
So I need another athletics check. Is that right?
Yep, athletics check. And there's a redemption.
I puff my chest
For
out and I
him.
scream back, I regret nothing.
Hey, now I ain't got an athletics check.
It's 3 successes.
That's about time.
Nice. You even generated a point of momentum for the party as you make it to the far side of the river finally. Just in time to realize that Abertac has disappeared, or that Thornicius has disappeared.
Well, you know what?
You are now alone
You know what's
on this side of the river. Zhang is alone on this side of the river, and you have no idea where your third compatriot is.
Oh, he's dead.
Well, you knew where the target was, which is north.
He doesn't know where you are.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. He
guess
doesn't know where
I'm
I am, but he knows I'm heading there.
I'm gonna follow it back upstream for a while because that's how I
Okay.
get back anyway.
Yep. So is that what both of you guys are doing, or heading back upstream, following the river? Okay. Thornicius, it's you and I for a moment. As you tuck up, you head north a ways, taking some cover in the trees. Are you trying to be stealthy? I need a
Yes.
stealth check.
Yes. Got one.
One success is enough. There's a lot of wind and rain, and it's hard to see. So one success is enough to be stealthy here. You make it roughly backish to where you were. You're pretty good with distances. Roughly backish up to where you were, and I'm going to need an observation check. Unfortunately, one success is not enough in this storm for an observation check.
Mm.
So you're in the trees. You know you're in the rough-ish area of where those picks floated across, but all you see is trees. You don't hear really anything. You still hear the drums from the fort. The haunted ruins of the fort. You still hear those drums.
Okay. Well, I head in the direction of the drums, but keeping them to my left because I'm heading north.
They would be on your they would be on the east side, so they would be on your right.
Oh, they would be on the east side.
Yeah, the
Okay.
fort is on the east. There's the two rivers, the Black and the Thunder, and Velitrium is on this river. The Black Fort Tusculon is on this river, each watching to the west,
I don't eat.
because they were both
I see.
built before the west side of those was civilized. Velitrium was built in order to civilize the Mark. Tusculon was built in order to civilize the Pictish wastes. Tusculon was destroyed because it tried to civilize the Pictish wastes. Pictish wilds,
Gotcha.
sorry, not wastes, wilds.
Okay. Well, let's keep on heading towards where I think the canoes and settlers.
You're
will
in that
be.
area. Yeah.
Oh, I am, but I can't find.
But you're not. You're just finding trees.
Can I find the river?
Yeah, I mean the river's. You're close to the river. You can see through some of the trees where the river is, and then where that blasted dead zone is across the river.
Okay.
The Hag of Hackett's Quarry.
I'm going to head a little bit further north. Maybe they came from a little further north up the river.
Give me one more observation check.
There's another one.
Unfortunately, between the storm, the wind, the weather, the mud, any tracks that you would normally be looking for have turned to a slurry and slush.
Wonderful.
If they were over here, which you're pretty certain that they were over here, you don't think they are anymore. Whatever they were doing with the settlers on this side of the river, you're not finding signs.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to the river and stay within the cover of the trees, but also look across the river, try and find where the fort is.
Okay.
That will be my. Yeah.
Yep. You head towards the river. You can see the fort. You can see the mist covering the fort entirely. You can, because you're quite a bit closer, you don't have a 150-foot dead zone. You've got a 100-foot river. You can see movement. You can see light as if from fires. You can see, so that would be like an orangish light. You also see a couple of reddish lights moving about that you don't recognize. But mostly it's just shadows and brief figures and movement. Nothing solid that you can see.
I'm going to follow the river back down toward the blasted area, and then
You're on the
I guess
opposite
we'll
side
have
of the
to try
river
and
from the
cross over.
blasted area.
Right. I'm gonna have to try and cross the river towards the fort. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Cross the river towards the fort.
Okay. You do. So okay. So you're just gonna go straight towards the fort.
Yes, stealthily, as best I can.
Do you have a plan for what you're going to do once you get to the fort that's filled with potentially hundreds of Picts and it isn't that large of a space? And
I'm hopefully going to cause a distraction large enough to get everybody's attention and allow Abertak and Zhang to make it to the fort and possibly in to rescue whoever's there.
well, the plan that you made with the other two was to do recon and then assault the fort together because you're still missing a third, 2/5 of your party.
Yes, that's right. Okay, well, let's just recon. From where I'm at, as I cross the river back towards the
Wait
blasted
for
area,
me.
I will. Yeah, I'll try and take a look at the fort as I got closer, but not like within range. You know what I'm saying? Closer than 50 feet or so I can take a look at whatever's going on. I will disguise myself as a bunch of weeds that are just floating down the river because that's easy cover right now.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
Gonna add
But
point of
you are
momentum
taking
here.
me back across the river, right?
No, he's not caring about you right
Oh
now.
my gosh.
Nope.
It's completely ignored.
Your bare-chested self is gonna have to make it to your own way.
So you have a stealth of 12, and you rolled an 11, a 15, and an 8. So you do have 2 successes.
Yes.
So you make a relatively decent pile of debris to float under. I'm going to need an athletics check now to swim across the river. Difficulty 2.
Do I have any more momentum to spend?
There are 3 points of momentum.
I will spend another 1 point.
Unfortunately, I'm spending a point of doom also, as the wind is picking up, making swimming more difficult. Challenge 3 to get across this close to the fort.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Oh. So you're untrained in athletics. You have a score of 8 in athletics. No focus.
Why did you attempt this?
I twang. That's what I do. I had to get back to where I could twang again.
So do you remember what happened to him about floating down river? And he would still keep bobbing and keeping his head up, though. You are not bobbing and keeping your head up. The very brush and debris that you made as you're trying to swim across the river ends up entrapping you in its weeds and reeds, holding you under the water almost, barely being able to tuck your head above water. I need a, a resistance check, please?
Another thing I am untrained in, I believe. Yep. I twang. That's what I do. And hold on a minute. There we go. One success at least.
Well, 1 success means that you're only taking 1 point of vigor damage. As you're basically choking on water. But I'm going to need a difficulty 3 athletics check again to try to recover and hopefully make it to one side of the water or other.
Do I have a fortune point left? I don't remember if I do or not.
I'm counting on you to count those.
In that case,
I think I only have
Definitely
one
does.
left. I think I burnt one with the arrows in the beginning, and then I burnt another one to give you a vine.
Yep.
That one
So-
with the arrows. Because you
But he did.
saved that one.
Yeah, I did do that one though. I'm,
So you have a point left.
I'm too honest. I'm going to spend that point.
Again, fortune can never be wasted, so you can declare it after your roll.
Yeah.
Are you burning momentum? Nope. Okay. So 2 successes. Plus the fortune, I'm assuming. Because you need 3 successes.
Yes, right? That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
got 2 successes, so you'll need a fortune to be successful.
Okay, yeah.
Which side of the river are you trying to go to?
Back over to the side that Zhang is on.
Okay.
Nothing on my screen.
Zhang, you're heading upriver, following the river, and you see a very strange splashing bit of debris that's blurbling and clurbling and thrashing piece of debris, and only realize just in time that that's a human being and not a Pict. Just within reach of your arms, the current rolls just within reach of you, and you reach into the river and pull out a sopping, choking, waterlogged Thornicius.
Hello, friend. Told you this was a bad idea.
And then you look across the river and see your third compatriot still standing over there, forlorn and lonely.
Hey,
Without
I
armor.
found him.
What happened to the canoe you were supposed to be getting?
What are you doing over there?
Waiting for the canoe.
I thought you drowned.
So you left him. You thought
And this,
he
boys and
was
girls, is why
around.
poison oak
You
is not
left
great for
him.
disguises. So,
Get over here. I wave him over.
what do you do?
I can't do much of anything, but they still have fortune points if they want to spend them.
You're still coughing up water.
Yeah, I'm still looking like the swamp thing.
So you can see across the river at your friend who just about drowned and is still coughing up water when he tried to swim across. I mean, you succeeded
What you
last
got?
time with some help of the divine.
I mean, I could try to swim back to them. Do we have any momentum left, or did
Find
you?
a canoe.
2 points. 2 points of momentum.
All right, I'll use one. Let's see how I go.
He's using a.
And-
And of course not.
Use it.
What is
Fortune.
your athletics? An 11?
No, I'm
You
gonna-
actually succeed. You only needed.
All right.
You have an athletics of 11, and you needed 2 successes, so you do succeed.
Okay.
But let's see. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, your chain slips away while you're swimming.
What?
Your chain.
Oh, great.
He's just gonna be naked by the end of this.
Apparently. All right. This is a bad idea. Let's just go back and wait for the others. We're not accomplishing anything. We're only weakening ourselves. So,
Cough, cough, blurble, blurble.
Observation checks.
Michael got a 10 and a 16.
I got a
So
one
one-
success. One good
I got
critical
3.
success.
Nice.
3 successes. All right, you
Succeeded.
generate the party appointed momentum. You spot floating face up down the river what appears to be a probably dead settler.
Well,
But you're not sure. Whatever's happening, this settler is not trying to actively swim, but they're also face up, not face down.
let's go try and retrieve them.
Nope.
Maybe they can tell us something.
Nope. Not getting back in that river.
Okay, well, the group says no.
You're welcome to go if you
gonna-
want. But
He doesn't spot it.
No,
we are doing. No, I'll point it out to him.
I
But
almost died the last time I tried to cross this river. I'm not doing
we are not doing anything but weakening ourselves. We need to just go back and wait for the others.
and
As
screw that
the,
poor innocent person floating down river.
As-
Huh?
the body of the settler
Mhm.
floats on by.
Put an arrow in it.
Put an arrow in him? No.
It's probably a trap.
Although I am pissed. I would like to kill something right now.
Well, all we've managed to do so far is get injured and lose items and ammo. So I really think we are accomplishing nothing. And we need all our resources for this fight. So I think we should just go back. Wait for the others.
All right, Abertac of the Vanishing. I agree with you.
So you begin heading northward again. Are you going stealthily?
I dubbed the Abertac the light-footed now.
The light bagged.
Yeah, the light bagged. There we go.
Are you going stealthily? Can I have a stealth check? And are either of the two of you going to assist on the stealth check?
Sure.
Please.
We have to.
Because these dice have been amazing tonight. So many ones and 20s.
1d20?
Yes.
1 die 20.
All right. So here's for saying you got 6.
Hey,
That's a success.
And I did.
That is not a success. And Thornicius?
I got a success and a failure.
I got
Oh,
a
okay.
Complication.
On the plus side, you are being pretty stealthy. On the downside, you unfortunately trip into a hole, a hunter's hole, what you recognize to be a picked hunter's hole, dug very recently. It hasn't even filled with water yet. It's so recent.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. You guys want to give me a hand back up out of here?
I have this sturdy vine.
He doesn't have a chain, but he has a sturdy vine.
Still attached to the tree by the river.
You'll have plenty of time for hunter's holes when you're living in a camp down by the river.
All right. I will try to haul him out. What is that?
You haul him out. I'm not going to make you have to roll for that. You huff, puff, you slide around in the mud a little bit. You haul him out.
At least you don't have to worry about getting your armor muddy.
You are covered in mud now, head to toe.
If y'all don't see me next week, I've been murdered.
With the dog.
Expect foul play. I see. Well, mud gives me great cover. Then I look like a picked
No, you don't.
or a mud demon.
You look like a dude that's been out playing rugby in the rain.
Well, fun. All right, guys. We're still stealthily heading back towards our
Observation
rendezvous,
checks,
right?
please. Difficulty 2 observation checks, because all observation checks are more difficult in the storm.
Mm-mm. I I feel trepidation trying to roll this.
So I got 2 successes.
Depends on your.
Yes. Oh, wait, actually, I think I might have. Nope, 2 successes.
I got a rock.
I think I got 2 failures.
Well, for you that got 2 successes. Wait. Oh, okay, I see. When I said that
Roll the 2.
this
Oh,
hunter's
2.
hole, yep, I see it. When I say this hunter's hole was recent, I mean you hear picked voices like 50 feet away that somehow haven't heard you.
I will poke these 2, point at the direction of the picks, and mime pulling out my weapon.
I say we avoid that. Like if we make a ruckus, they'll hear us, and we will get swarmed by them, which defeats our entire purpose of being here.
Except there's a freight train of a storm going on.
Thornicius
They've got
sinks down to a knee, pulls out his bow, and then waves those 2 to go on. And if anyone catches even such a whiff of an idea of turning around and seeing us, they're going to get shot.
Well, it's really deep forest right now, so even though they're only maybe 50 feet away, you can't see anything. It's
Okay.
also the storm.
Well, I'll shoot wildly in their direction with a volley just to get them off of our trail.
They don't.
Or how about this? I just throw a big rock over there.
Maybe I wasn't clear. They're not voices like war calls. They're just talking.
They haven't found us yet.
Yeah, so
let's go.
Let's move without them
So
finding.
let's stealthily past
Yes,
it. Yeah.
thank you. Now, stealthily. Would I have to roll this again?
No. Well,
Okay.
yes.
I did. 2 successes.
Do we still have to roll?
Nah. Unless you want to potentially generate momentum or complications.
Nope. No, I've had enough complications for one night. Thank you.
Then you slink away from the voices of the mysterious Picts that were not in the fort. Deeper into the trees.
How close are we to where we're supposed to meet up with the others?
It's roughly like back towards the road-ish, so probably half a mile from where you are.
Don't get some more attention to that. All right. So back towards the road.
Back towards the road. All right.
Boom!
You make it back to the meeting point. You make it back to, well, at least where you can see the meeting point while still being in a little bit of cover. The other 2 are not there.
I can wait for them.
Yeah, I say wait for them.
All right. As
But no longer than an hour.
As you are waiting, looking over the road, you see a couple of groups of Picts heading up the road, or coming up the road towards the fort. No settlers, but groups of Picts. About 15 of them.
I say we hide. We don't have anything to gain here other than losing resources and becoming injured.
I want to kill
And become
something.
mud and trees and shadow incarnate.
All right. I let them go by.
All right. Well, after another 45 minutes to an hour, the other two will appear, but their appearance is going to be heralded by the beginning of another session. So I think we're going to be having a slightly shorter session
Yeah, it was
tonight.
hard to do much today without them.
It was. I was
Yeah.
trying.
It's hard to do a whole lot without them.
It's hard for you to keep your clothes on, Abertac.
I know.
It's
I have all this
getting
lovely
hot
mud.
in here.
And fine. So I'm just gonna be looking like I'm in the Garden of Eden.
So
You're
on the
trying to
plus
act
side,
like
all of the
I-
rain is washing most of the mud out of it. You just have mud left in your crevasses.
I think the plural is crevassi.
Crevassi.
Okay.
Crevassi. So then let's see with that. Let's see, what is today? I don't have the schedule coming up now.
We murder the doll.
So Nat, if you can get me the schedule real quick. What I do know is that we have on Sunday we do Tomb of Annihilation from 9 to 11 Eastern. On Monday we have Star Trek from 8:30 to 10. I believe that's still going on. This Saturday we will have Riffs, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Megaverse from 6 to 8 Eastern.